fire. Did I find the smell? No, I did not. I don't know what is causing that smell, but we're just gonna ignore it. Way to start a video. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dana. We talk about all things bookish, TV, anything that comes to my mind, honestly, I talk about. But anyway, I'm doing a different format. I'm going to be doing this wrap-up in a different format than I usually do. I'm going to be adding aesthetic pictures. So there's pictures that go with the book, or that fit the book, and it's basically like if this book was a Pinterest board, but just do a couple pictures either all over the screen or in corners of the screen or whatever I decide to do in editing. And then some books won't have aesthetic pictures, and if they don't have aesthetic pictures, there's a hair on my camera. Hello. If a book does not have aesthetic pictures, it's purely because the book was just too short that I couldn't find pictures to go with the book. So that will typically only happen with novellas that are just too short to where I don't know what pictures to put. So, I am also going to start filming book reviews shortly after I read the books because I feel like my reviews will be more, there and we'll have more to say. But also, I'm just going to be talking about, very short reviews, and I'm going to be posting, probably over here on the screen, my, Fable review. Where I actually write out a review view. Yeah, that makes total sense. But I'll probably post my Goodreads or Fable review somewhere on the screen for each book. That will go a little more in depth than just my short, what it's about and stuff like that. So this is Killjoy by Holly Jackson. This is a short, quick, fun little novella. It's a prequel to the Good Girls Guide to Murder series where basically Pip's friend, I forget his name, but he basically sets up a murder mystery dinner set in the 1940s. And so each character in the book has a character that they are. So think Clue, basically. Think Clue and think 1940s. And everyone is a different character, everyone has different stories, everyone has different backstories, everyone has different alibis, and you just have to figure out who killed whoever, the main character. So this was really, really fun, cute, sweet. I don't know why I said cute. It's not a romance. It's literally just a murder mystery party, but it was really, really fun, and I enjoyed it. See, we're going to be doing short descriptions and short reviews and more in-depth reviews somewhere on the screen because I talk way too fucking much, so it's easier just to input it and then you can just pause it and read the review. So, and then, okay, this one I am going to input. Next one is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. Now I'm going to input my review prior, I filmed a video prior to this that's the exact same as this, but I'm doing it in different formatting. But I'm still going to input my clip talking about Out on a Limb, which is going to be my longest review in this video. But I just had so much to say about, oh my god, I can't speak. I had so much to say about Out on a Limb that I am just going to input it here. And I feel like it just has to be said. So just prepare for I don't know, 5 minutes of me talking about this book. But just real quick, description, it is about Bo and not Bonnie, that's the other one. It's about Bo and Win, and basically they end up having a one-night stand. She ends up getting pregnant, and that's in the back of the book, not a spoiler. And she ends up getting pregnant, and they basically have to learn how to co-parent with each other and learn if they're going to co-parent, how they're going to co-parent, and figure out just how they're going to have a relationship or friendship with this baby. So I'll input my Out on a Limb tangent here. I gave this 3.5 stars. This was really fun, really cute, really sweet. This is very much so more contemporary, and it's not secret baby, it's accidental pregnancy. But it was done so well and so cute. And I really enjoyed this. Both of their his story is so sad, and it makes you feel so bad for him, and it can be scary. It can honestly, imagining Win in that situation and living with him after hearing his story is scary because you never know if it could happen again. If you read the book, you know. This one was just so cute and sweet and heartwarming and a very switch of genres for me. If you do not know, I am a dark romance girly through and through. I read purely dark romance most of the time, and I will read like a contemporary every now and then. So this is very like change of pace, change of spice for me. And also this one surprised me because I expected this book to start when she's already pregnant, and it doesn't. You see them meet and you see them have a spice scene, and then you see her get pregnant, and then the spice doesn't hit. Like there's not another spice scene until like I think 70 or 80% through. So I really enjoyed the fact that there was no like spice forcing them together, because sometimes spice is just written in for them to like have a connection and for them to like be forced together. But I like that she didn't use spice to force them together. And instead she used, I think she used the baby to force them together, but it was forced proximity because of the baby. But at the same time, it's because they both wanted to take care of the baby, and he wanted to be involved and help out and co-parent. So yeah, I really like how this was done. And I knew there was something I was forgetting to say, but in the author's note in the beginning, it says, it's worth noting that this book is set in Canada, where rights to abortion are not currently under threat as they are elsewhere, and therefore her options are less limited. Ultimately, she chooses to keep her baby, but it felt necessary to include those discussions, given that the fundamental right to access safe legal abortions is constantly being challenged. Wynn's choice is not superior, nor is she pressured into it. Wynn's choice is just that, her choice. And I love that author's note, because abortion really is just a woman's choice. Some women do not want kids. Some women are not in a position to have kids. And abortion is very much so a right that just all women should have. So I love that author's note, because a woman's choice is her choice. It's no one else's choice. So I really love that. Okay, perfect. So yeah, 3.5 stars. It was really cute, really fun, really sweet. It's Property of the Mountain Man by Gemma Weir. Now, this is basically, I don't want to say a short novella because it's not. I forget how many pages it was, but it was like 300. Yeah, it was 327 pages, so it was not a novella at all. And it wasn't short, but it felt really short. Basically, this is about Beau and Bonnie, who live in a small town. Bonnie basically runs this coffee shop. She's not the actual manager or owner, but she basically works at a coffee shop. And Beau is there every single day at opening and at closing to like get a coffee and to like watch her open up the store, or like the coffee shop, not the store, and to watch her close up. And she basically has had a crush on him forever because it's an age gap, and so it's like a 20-something year age gap. She's, I think, 21 and he's like in his 40s, so heavy age gap. But she's always had a crush on him, and he is just now noticing her, and he's just now like noticed his feelings towards her, and is like, she's mine, I want to have her. Now, it wasn't short, but it felt short. Like, this was so fast and quick to read, and such a good, goofy time, honestly. And if you like a over-the-top, possessive, jealous man, this book is for you, because he did not want her going out on the town with her friend. He didn't want her working at the coffee shop. He wanted her to, like, quit her job and go work for him, even if it was just her sitting there keeping him company. Yeah, I will say though, the back and forth annoyed the fuck out of me. The back and forth annoyed me and pissed me off, but yeah. And that book is a 3-star, by the way. And then I read Devoted to a Dragon by Lauren Connolly. If I look down, it's because I'm looking at my phone. But yeah, Devoted to a Dragon by Lauren Connolly. I gave this a 3-star because this is basically a really, really, really short like shifter romance. He's a dragon, she's a harpy, and they are like fated mates, but they get separated from each other, and it's like 20 years later or something like that, and he comes back to town and doesn't know if she will recognize him, and he's trying to figure out if her life would be better if he reappeared. And so he kind of does a little secret spy shit and like has a new name and new look, and you know, but yeah, just really short. It was cute, sweet, and really easy to read, so like 3-star. And then I needed a dark romance. Okay, I needed a unhinged dark romance, so I read Hitched by Lauren Beale, and I give this a 2.5 star. This is basically a dark hitchhiker romance where a woman is driving on the road. She runs into this man who is hitchhiking on the road, and she is like, you know what? Yeah, sure. She basically picks up, English? Don't know it. She basically picks up this man who is hitchhiking, and he ends up carjacking her and kidnapping her, and so he has her car, he has her, and it's basically that. So it's basically captive, but on the run because he escaped from prison, hitchhiker. Now it felt a tidge too long, because it felt like after like 70%, she just kept writing new things to expand the length of the book, but not the plot of the book, if that makes sense. But it was unhinged, and it was fun, and it was spicy, and it was what I needed at the time, so 2.5 stars. I read Pen Pal by J.T. Geisinger because this was one of my book club's picks of the month. All the links down below if you want to join one of them. But the library chose Pen Pal for this month's book pick, and so Pen Pal is basically not what you think it's going to be. Okay, I actually don't know what the back of this book says, so let me read that, so that way I know and I don't give away spoilers. So just give me a minute. Okay, so Pen Pal, basically this woman's husband dies, and she receives a letter from the state penitentiary, or basically a prison, okay? And so she basically has this prison pen pal that she is receiving letters from. That's all I'm gonna tell you. That is all I'm gonna fucking tell you, and I wanna go cry. I wanna go cry. Oh my god, okay. This book I gave 3.5 stars. I really fucking enjoyed this book. It did have a slow start, but a very strong finish, and it was very well structured, and the plot twist at the end, oh my god. Everyone I have seen that has read this book has been shocked by the end, by the plot twist, and while I wasn't really shocked, because I did guess what it was going to be, but I didn't want to be correct. This is one of those cases where I guessed the twist, mostly, I mostly guessed the twist, but I didn't want to be right. I did not want to be right, and yet I was, and it broke my heart. Okay, just know, this has I feel bad, I feel wrong saying this has a happy ending, but it is. It's an unconventional, untraditional happy ending, so that's why I feel bad saying, oh yeah, it's a happy ending, because I went into it expecting a happy ending, and we got the untraditional, unconventional happy ending, and so my heart destroyed, okay? My heart, no, my heart went out the door, okay? Went out the window, it flew away, because I could not, 3.5 stars. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then I read Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi, which I gave 3 stars. This will be in a reading vlog. I don't know when it will be up, but I'm basically reading 5 books that my cousin chose for me, which turned into 7 books, because I'll explain in that video. But that will be a reading vlog coming out hopefully by the end of August. Hopefully, right, July, yeah. Hopefully by the end of August it will be out. But Shatter Me, 3 stars. It was very average. It felt so slow to me. The first 80% of this book was so slow, and then the last 20% was very fast-paced. And it seemed like the characters had no fucking personality. The characters felt like they had no personality. So Juliet felt bland as fuck, and felt she felt like she was across the fucking Atlantic. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. I don't know that analogy, but she felt so distant, because it seemed like her entire personality was being in love with this one character. I'm not going to say names because I'm not going to spoil it, but being in love with one character and then hating another character, it felt like those two things were only her fucking personality. So I'm hoping, going on in the series, she actually begins to have a personality other than those two things, because I will lose my goddamn mind if I have to keep reading that she loves this character so much. I'm gonna throw the book. I'm gonna chuck it across the room, okay? Because I can't do it again. I cannot fucking do it again. But I will be doing Unravel Me as a buddy read. So hopefully that will motivate me to get through it. And hopefully Unravel Me will be better. So But that was a 3-star. And then, oh my god, I can't believe I did these books back to back. Then I did That Weekend by Kara Thomas. All you need to know about this is, yep, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Yes, I threw this book across the room, okay? I'm going to do it again when I'm finished talking about this because this book pissed me the fuck off, okay? This one is also in a reading vlog of its own. Same reading vlog as Shatter Me. I gave this book 2 stars, okay? I want to give this a 1 star because of how much it pisses me off. But the majority of this was okay for me, and the majority of it was a 3-star for me until the fucking ending and until the plot twist. And the plot twist pissed me off so fucking bad that it made it a 2-star for me. And I could rant about this all fucking day, but just read the review that is on screen right now, and just know I'm throwing it across the room, and I'm returning it to the library, and I wish I could fucking bleach this from my brain. I wish I could forget it. Like, I wish I could completely forget this book and forget that I ever read it. Just bleach it all out of my head, and yeah, no, we're moving on. We're moving the fuck on because no. Okay, and then I did Destroy Me by Tina Murphy, which is the first novella after Shatter Me. So it's Shatter Me, and then it's Destroy Me, the novella, and then it's Unravel Me, and then it's Fracture Me, and then I don't know after that. But I do have the reading order screenshotted. But Destroy Me is basically, it takes place after an event in Shatter Me, and it's basically told in Aaron Warner's perspective. Now, I didn't rate this because it was a short novella, and I didn't know what to rate it, so I did not rate it, but if this one was much easier to read, and I actually enjoyed this one more than Shatter Me, and I don't know what that says about me, because Shatter Me was like 300 something pages, and like Destroy Me was like 100 something pages, and yet I enjoyed Destroy Me more than I enjoyed more than I enjoyed Shatter Me. So take what you will from that, but it was so much easier to fucking get through, and oh my god, if I could read the rest of the books in Warner's perspective, that would be fine. Never give me another POP of Juliet if she keeps saying that she loves one character. I can't fucking do it. I'm gonna do what I did with That Weekend, and I'm gonna chuck it across the room. Lastly, for now, I read The Club Princess, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce this author's name because I'm going to butcher it. Listen, 3.5 stars. The Club Princess, or Claiming the Club Princess, it's two different, it's the same book, but it's like different titles on whatever, but, The Club Princess is basically forbidden and taboo. And if you don't know what taboo is, it's basically very, like, immoral. So it's like, it would be like step siblings would be taboo. It would be step family would be taboo. Heavy age gap would be taboo. So like taboo is just like very like teacher student is taboo. So what exactly makes taboo taboo? The best I could put it into words is like a very like unconventional relationship. Princess. The Club Princess is basically she falls in love with her stepdad and stepbrother. I can't believe I just said that. Yeah, the FMC is a short novella. I don't know why I'm trying to justify this. I can't justify her falling in love with her stepbrother and stepfather other than they are literally not related at all. At fucking all. They're not related, okay? She's not actually related to them, so don't worry. It's not like actual incest. They're not even related. Like, her dad married her mom, and that's what makes them makes them related. So it's like related by marriage, whatever. And yeah, basically this was just a fun time, honestly, and that sounds so wrong coming out of my mouth, but it was just a fun, quick time, and honestly, I needed it after That Weekend. Oh my god, I needed it. I needed something unhinged, and I ended up. We're here for part 2, going through the rest of the books that I read this month, because it is the last day of July. It is July 31st. Is that loud? I might need to mute my TV. because I also don't want to get copyrighted. So I muted it because I don't want to get copyrighted because, can you see that? It's the Vampire Diaries, like, theme song. Hello? There we go. It's the Vampire Diaries theme song, and so I don't want to get copyrighted because, you know, we ain't gonna do that. Anyway, it is the last day of July. It is July 31st, obviously. And so I'm here to wrap up the rest of the books that I read this month. So this month in total, let's see, in total I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello? Not 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 17. I have read 17 books this month. We've already went through the first 10. So we're going to be going through 7 more quick rounds. So, The Naturals, Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This was a reread because like about a year ago I read the first and second book, but then I want to finish the series this year, and actually like next month. So I reread The Naturals to just refresh my brain, and 5 stars. I loved this book so much. Yeah, I loved it even more than I did the first time. Like, I don't know what it was about it, but I loved being back with the characters, and I loved being back in the universe, and I loved being back in that, like, YA Criminal Minds world, and I enjoyed it more than I did the first time. So I gave it 5 stars. The Naturals is basically about these five, because it's Dean, Michael, Leah, Sloane, and Cassie. So basically about these 5 teenagers who have special abilities. Dean and Cassie are really good profilers. Michael is basically a emotion reader. Leah is she can detect lies, and she can easily like manipulate and lie without getting caught. And then Sloane is basically Spencer Reid as a woman, okay? And they basically are in a FBI program called the Naturals program, where they help the FBI solve cold cases. And then Dubious Secrets, another book by the author that I cannot pronounce their name, and I'm not even going to try. This one I gave 2 stars. This one is basically a forbidden taboo novella because how do I explain this? Her and her sister's boyfriend have some accidental spicy time, and she ends up knocked up by her sister's boyfriend. And she ends up preggers and knocked up. And was I the target audience for this? No. No, I was not the target audience of this. However, the sister wasn't that present, and so I could just like overlook the cheating half. But I don't know. It just wasn't like a novella for me. It was entertaining and stuff, but really, this one wasn't for me. I definitely, as you saw, I rated The Club Princess higher, and I enjoyed that one more by this author. This author's kind of hit or miss for me. Like, some of her books I like, and some of them I don't. It just depends. And then I read Mercy by Sarah Kate. This is the 4th book in this Delicious Players Club series. This one follows Maggie and Beau. Maggie is the only female owner of the club, and Beau is Emerson's son. So Emerson, his book is the 1st book. And so Beau is his son, his adult son, who's like, I don't know, early 20s. And basically Maggie ends up being Beau's Dommy. And if you don't know what a Dommy is, it's basically a female dominant. So yeah, that's basically that. And I honestly enjoyed this more than I thought I would, because I didn't really see much, you don't really see much of Maggie in the previous books, and then Beau was a fucking asshole in the 1st book, and so this was kind of his, redemption arc book. But I actually really enjoyed this book, and it really gives you an insight into what was going on through Beau's mind, and why Beau did what he did, and how he was during relationships. He's still a dick, don't get me wrong, and I'm not, in love with him. That's why it's a 3-star, because I didn't fall in love with both of the characters. But I did really like reading their dynamic, and I loved exploring their dynamic. Then I read Given by Willow Winters. Honestly, I don't remember much about this book. I gave it 2 stars. From what I remember, this book is basically about, I forgot their names, but she is basically given to this dominant, to pay off a debt. So basically, she is in a master-slave relationship with someone. Her master sells her at an auction to pay off a debt to someone else, and the guy ends up like buying her, and they end up falling in love. That's really the gist of it. It was 2 stars. I mean, I guess it was entertaining and like it kept my attention, I guess, but it just really, like, I wasn't sold on the relationship. It felt like they were just there for spice, and she was just there because he wasn't abusing her like her master was. I don't know. I wasn't sold on the relationship, and so I just didn't really enjoy it because I wasn't sold on it. I didn't love either of them. I was just kind of like, it is what it is. If they end up together, they end up together. They don't, they don't. Like, I didn't care. I didn't care. Not really. And then I read Taken Online by, I think Jane Blue. This one I gave 1.5 stars. Listen, this is a MM novella. Asher and Caleb. And Asher basically has to go to court-mandated therapy, and Caleb is his therapist. However, Asher also posts, spicy videos and pictures online, and Caleb is one of his clients who pays for his content. And so Caleb is obsessed with Asher, kind of stalks him and stuff. This had potential. If it was longer or even a full-length book, it would have been better, I think, because you could have gone more in depth. And I wanted to go more in depth. I went into it with just spicy intentions, but then the therapy thing came in to play, because I didn't really read what the description of the book. I just saw dark MM novella, and I read it. So the therapist play came into it, and then the psychoanalyzing, and then a scene where Asher kind of breaks down, and you never delve into what triggered the episode. You never figure out his trauma. You don't delve into that, and I wish they did. I don't know if it's a man or woman author, but I wish they did. And it had potential, but it just didn't really hit for me, so 1.5 stars. And then I read Your Dad Will Do by Katie Robert. Another just full-on taboo kind of month, right? So Your Dad Will Do is basically this woman. What are their names? Let's see, the guy's name is Shane, and the girl's name is Lily. That's her name. Okay, so it's basically about Shane and Lily. Lily was engaged to this guy. She found him cheating, and so she goes to his dad and is like, hey, let's have spicy time to get revenge on my ex-fiance because you're his dad. So it's ex-fiance's dad. It's basically revenge smut and revenge spice. I gave this 2 stars. Now listen, it was a really fun spicy time, and it was literally just 2.5 stars, because it was a really fun time and really entertaining, and the spice was fun, and the kinks in it were fun. However, it wasn't. I think I was looking for emotional depth in books, and I shouldn't have went into Your Dad Will Do, because there is no emotional depth. It's literally just a revenge plot of spice. So I think I, in my mind, just wanted more emotional depth, which is why I rated it 2.5. But I did really enjoy it. It's fun, but 2.5. And then, lastly, I just finished this book 30 minutes ago. That's Not My Name by Megan Lally. I gave this book 3.5 stars. Listen, this was, I don't want to say fun, because the plot twist is dark and fucked up, but this is basically a woman, or not even a woman, a teenager, wakes up in a ditch, and she has no memory whatsoever. She doesn't remember her family, or where she came from, what happened, her name. She doesn't remember anything. And so she's in the police station, and a man comes in and claiming to be her dad. And he has her birth certificate, he has photos, he has her school ID, he has her social security number. It's he has legit proof that he's her dad. And he's like, yeah, she's my, she's my daughter, her name is Mary. But then things start unraveling, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Wow. I went into this knowing that it's more, I don't know if it's actual YA, but knowing it's more in the YA style. and the plot twist was dark. Like, the plot twist was darker than I thought it would be in a YA, but I loved it. Like, I did really enjoy this book. I was never bored throughout it, and I was like psychoanalyzing every character. I was like, okay, this character, here's what we know about this character, and this character, and this character, and this character, and, you know, and it was just like, it was so weird. And then the guy claiming to be the dad, his name is Wayne. Wayne gave me the creeps. I was like, no, he gave me the fucking creeps, dude. Like, no. And then the plot was so interesting. I've never read like a thriller mystery with a like amnesia plot, which was so fun and so interesting. And it had two different POVs. I'm not gonna say who or say what, but it had two different POVs, and so it was so interesting, and it held my attention, and I was not raptured, but I was like enthralled in it. And the ending is so sad. The ending is so heartbreaking, but it's so realistic too. So like, I enjoyed the realistic ending, even though it is heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking, but so realistic, and I liked that. I will say, if you're looking for like fast paced, don't go into this one, because the first 80% of it is very like slow paced, taking your time, and like steady pacing, which I really enjoyed. And then the last 20% is when it gets really fast paced, but I liked that. I liked that, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, I liked how it was more steady paced and then fast paced at the end. I don't know, I just really enjoyed it. And I feel like it wouldn't have been done as well if it was all fast paced. I think it needed to be that steady pacing in order to cover everything that it needed to cover and tell what it needed to tell. But I did really enjoy this, and it was a 3.5 star. But that's it. That is the end of what I read in July. This was so much fun. And until next time.